Welcome back. I was talking on the principles, and basically, let me talk a little bit more on them. Labor is the most valuable source we have. What does it mean for the course? That means basically, I try to rely less on curve mechanism as much as I can. Um, in some cases, I have no choice, but as much as I can, I try to create opportunities for my students to um improve their grades even up to the very end of the semester. So, in many of my courses, right up to the very end of the semester, it's still possible for you to get a good grade. Uh, but basically, I mean, leaving have a good grade at to the end of the semester is a very counterproductive thing. Still in the course, it's a better strategy if you want a good grade to uh, start getting making coursework from the very beginning of the semester. Course should be fair, which means actually I want to create uh, opportunities, or let me say, if uh, opportunities of the people who might have certain problems from the very beginning. I mean, think about them, so that those options, the options, are available for everyone. Um, However, I mean, and then I don't need and don't make any favors for specific students. Uh, I try to, especially in the face-to-face education, I was following these principles because the course already provides some alternatives for the students to fulfill the requirements of the course when one coursework that could be done to fulfill that requirement uh, cannot be done because of an emergency, for example. But well, in case of the pandemic, I mean, there are some unique cases. For example, electricity has gone down. For example, I mean, in that case, uh, I have occasionally needed to compromise this principle, but I try to follow it as much as possible, basically. Um, the course should be provide should be flexible, providing choices, especially in terms of the coursework you want to do. It should be flexible. Also, even though there should be a um, core part which you should learn to pass the course should also provide you uh, a variety of the topics on which you can focus on and concentrate on and study the ones you are more interested in. And this course is a good one for that because it has a variety of topics are included in it. You can easily focus on the ones you like, and even if you want, I can provide you more to read on them. In addition to these, also I would like to make my students learn background of the information given. In this course, it is very much possible, of course, since you will see how different works on the, I mean, the discussions behind the different works and different connections made by feminist economics or different theories they developed. In eco introduction courses and even labor economics course, sometimes, well, in some books or some way of teaching of these courses doesn't include the background of that information. I mean, how that information was created, basically, and I usually want to add that information to the courses. Uh, Use the information to build opinion and to discuss practical problems. Even in introductory courses, again, I try to do put this to some extent, to little bit at least, make this available. not ask directly a concept, for example, but basically want my students to use that concept in a discussion. Criticize and critically evaluate what is being taught. Again, I want you to, I may want people to, even introductory courses to some extent, in some ways, criticize or tell their opinion on certain things. For example, an assumption, basically. And when you criticize, basically, actually, your opinion is, I don't want you to think one way or the other. I don't want you to have a certain opinion, but I want that opinion ideally based on something. So basis opinion is something like, I think, for example, I'm completely making up the name, Mr. Stillman. There can be some Mr. Stillman, but I don't know. I don't mean a real Mr. Stillman. Mr. Stillman is a, for example, instructor that is not, he is not connecting with his students that much. Okay, I have made a statement. I need to back it up. For example, since in his lectures, barely students ask questions, for example, I might say this. Okay, I have backed it up. Okay, my reason to think about this might be right or wrong. People might criticize it, but I have explained where my opinion comes from. Now, my opinion can be criticized by criticizing also the backup of that information. I might say, for example, lectures are barely not good places where you can communicate with the students because of the traditional teaching mentality. Maybe you should also look how after the class Mr. Stillman is communicating with the students, and you might argue, you might have a counter argument to that, and we can discuss. But without the basis, without knowing why you think so, it's not that much possible to discuss, because I need to know why you, in what way, why you have thought that Mr. Stillman is not able to connect with the students. So this is criticize and critically evaluate. Okay, now this course. As I said before, this course is school in on a school in economics, and well, it aims to bring issues related to gender relations into the economics, family especially. Although in family, actually, children are an important element, which they are not bringing that satisfactorily, in my opinion, to the picture, which is a lacking point maybe of feminist economics. But basically, economists in this school work in several different fields. Mostly macroeconomics. There are some work also in macroeconomics, but mostly in microeconomics, but in different fields of microeconomics. So traditional elective courses usually focus on a certain field, like labor economics, for example, or development, for example. But this one is basically studying, and focusing on variety of fields in economics. Okay, we will have a video lecture like this, where you will have a YouTube video, recent news related to the topic. Basically, the main article of the course will be studied, then other articles, then theoretical or practical issues related to the topic of the week, which will be the discussion topic. Basically, actually, in a typical face-to-face education, I was not forcing it. So, if discussions, people want to discuss main article more, I allow that to happen. So, discussion of certain articles might not be made, but the important thing is focusing on the articles people are interested most. But here, since we are not able to discuss the articles with you, I will briefly talk. I will basically talk on them and on certain points of the articles. And I will plan the lecture in a way so that I will be able to talk on all articles, basically. Articles. Well, in this course, for each week, there will be a reading list with several articles. You don't need to read everything, but for each week, I set a main article. I recommend you to read at least that one. Let me show you the articles. Well, this is a course page. By clicking to reading list, you can see the articles and you can see the main text of each week. And by clicking to the readings, you can reach the actual articles. And if you click them, you are able to download them, actually, as we have seen now. Of course, in this one, you need to turn it to be able to read it. Which in Mac, I need to look how to, I need to find out how to do it, but you should ultimately be able to do this. Maybe this one. Yes. Yes. And you should do it for every page. So, these are the articles. You are able to write literature reviews on the articles. You don't need to. You can, but you don't need to. And I will talk more on them. I will just talk more on them, basically, in a minute. There are 2 exams of this course, and there is 1 course paper which can replace one of the exams. 10% of your grade is from the discussions, 10% is from the extra literature reviews, and 3% from the movie review. So, literature reviews. For each week, for each topic, let me say, you are able to make a literature review. For example, for week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, you can see that. If you make a literature review of week 12, for example, you need to basically review all articles of that week. Well, you are kind of expected to write 3 literature reviews of this course, although you don't need to do that. So 3 is kind of a magical numbers. And in the week of finals, you can submit an additional literature review, basically, on a topic you want, but you haven't written before. Basically. But potentially you can write 14, including the last one, because that should be one on which you haven't written before. Now, there are 13 literature reviews you can potentially write. If you don't write any literature review, in that case, the weight of literature review will be 0, and all of the 60% will be added to the exams. You write 1 literature review, then it will weight 20%, and exams will weight 90 minus 20, 70%. If you write 2, in that case, literature review will weight 40%, exams will weight 50%, and if you write 3, then literature reviews will weight 60%, exams will weight 30%. If you write 4 literature review, then the highest 3 will be your 60% literature review grade. The remaining one will be part of the extra literature review. And potentially you can get 1 point per literature review. For example, if you got 100 from all literature reviews, in that case you will get the 60% plus 1%. But if you got 100, 100, 100 and 50, in that case you will get 60% but 0.5%. If you get 100, 100, 50 and 50, in that case, of course, the highest 3 will be 100, 150, or 100, 100, let's say 75. In that case, this will be 55, I believe, but you can look whether it is right. And this will be 0.5 again, because 50, 0.5 times 1 is 0.5.